Hey everyone, welcome to Ninja Monkey Sunday, Monday, wherever it may be, wherever you are in the world. Let me know in the comment section or in the chat because we're live after all. And if you're new and maybe you're watching this in the replay, consider subscribing for Japan tips, Japan itineraries, guides, and basically anything that's Japan travel planning. This is the channel for you. I'm Nathan Ninja Monkey. Second channel is Happy Gaijin, and I'm going to be going to Japan very, very soon. In fact, this time next week, I will be back in the land of the rising sun, and I'm excited to stream, report, etc., from the streets of Japan. But we're not here to talk about that. Today we're here to answer your questions. So if you are traveling to Japan, if you've got any travel questions, this is the stream for you. Basically, I'm just going to check that all the settings are working and that you can hear me and that everyone's okay and and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's 10 p.m. European time, Central European time. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what the time is. And sorry about the noise, but I've opened the window because it's still pretty hot here. Like it's quite warm here. So let's see. Let me sort it out. Can you all hear me? Is everything good? Is everything going well? Right. Wait a minute. Where's the chat gone? Um, Chat amongst yourselves. I should have had this prepared earlier, but I didn't. Sorry. Apologies. Apologies. All right. Let's see. Sorted. Okay, we start off with banana fans. Thank you so much. Frog Lady, arigatou gozaimasu. I hope you're doing well. I'm only guessing that that you want the color. Is it gonna work? Green for you, for the froggy. So let me just add you to my support well. Much appreciated. All right, any questions? Here we go. Let's get started. Oh, and Jim Ross also. Thank you so much. Such early support. Jim Ross, thank you. I hope you're doing okay because I noticed that you weren't here on Wednesday when I did my stream, but I'm on the road. I will not be able to watch the stream. Have a good one. Well, I'm glad that you've been able to say hello anyway. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships. Right, question. Remember that you do have a question, then at Ninja Monkey or simply write question in front so I know. Why is it confusing and difficult to buy tickets for the 2025 Expo in Osaka? You know what? I'm going to agree with you, and I'm also going to say that it's something that I haven't actually tackled doing yet. I'm going to start looking into that when I return from my trip next week. All I've done so far is registered for the like a username or whatever for the Osaka Expo website, but it's something that I will be investigating and I am hopefully looking at. I mean, to be honest, I'm not too interested in going, but I feel that it's something that I should do since my channel is all about travel planning and Japan itineraries, etc. And a lot of people will be asking questions, so I should do it myself. So I will be. So just hold on. And if you do learn or know how to do it better than me, please let me know. Most budget-friendly time to visit Japan? Do you think 2025 Expo will mean next year is really expensive to visit Tokyo? Probably not because it's the expo is in Osaka, not in Tokyo. So I'm guessing that there could be some elevated prices as a result of more tourists. However, I'm guessing that the tickets are limited to how many daily people can go in. I really haven't done my research on this at all. Like I've mentioned right now, it's something that I'm going to be looking at when I return. But I think Japan is just getting popular, and there's only a certain amount of hotels. There's only a certain amount of rooms available and availability. And every year it is getting slightly more expensive in terms of hotels. I've noticed that I'm paying 25% more now than what I paid a few years ago in terms of hotels. Your best bet is always to book in advance. and your best bet is just to make sure that you have your itinerary sorted and that you know where you're going, so you can actually get all those details done and dusted before you even go to Japan. February is pretty affordable. Oh yeah, what is the most budget friendly time to visit Japan? I think definitely not sakura season, definitely not the autumn foliage, and probably keeping away from from the summer vacation period where the school kids are off school. Other than that, the rest of the year, I would say. Yeah, February is a good time in terms of it having available, viewability of Mount Fuji. I think winter, by far, best time to see Mount Fuji. Frog Lady, once again, thank you so much. Kazumi, thank you so much for being here. And let me just get my Coke Zero open and celebrate a celebration of my upcoming trip to Japan. Kanpai, everyone. If you're new to the channel, let me know in the comment section if, or in the chat, if you are a new viewer. I'd love to know what's going on with the algorithm. Japan, Japan, getting ready for your Japan trip. Have you packed your leave tomorrow, if I'm right? Very exciting, very exciting. Super exciting, actually. Tommy Tran, how are you doing? My goodness, why is it so freaking hot still? Here. I've got a feeling that Tokyo will be very similar in terms of temperature to where I live right now. Coming November the 19th, how's the foliage coming Tokyo North? I think that the reality is, like, for example, I'm not in Tokyo right now. I will be, and I will report when I'm in Tokyo. And the best way for you to keep up with my trip will be to subscribe and check out my second channel, The Happy Gaijin, which is actually a streaming channel. It's where I'm going to be streaming probably on the daily, or if not, keeping you updated through that channel. But last year I traveled to Japan the first week of November, around the first week of November. I went to Kawaguchiko, and there was the odd tree here and there with foliage, with beautiful colors, but I wouldn't say that it was very, prominent. I wouldn't say that the foliage was actually quite prominent at all. Apart from the odd tree here and there, that you could trick Instagram by taking a photo and making it look like like it was full on autumn. The reality is that for you to get anything considerably, like what you would expect in your head, you'd probably need to be in Japan towards the end of December, the end of November, I would say. So maybe the 19th, you start getting stuff, especially at higher elevations. And don't forget that the times that I mentioned in my last video are peak times, So peak doesn't necessarily mean, that you can't be there for 4 days before, 4 days after, or whatever, So Volt Boy, Hein Monkey, what can the weather be like in November for Tokyo, Sapporo, and Fukuoka? That's very, very wide range of places, and Tokyo's basically in the middle, Sapporo in the very north, and Fukuoka in the south. I would say that probably probably Tokyo and Fukuoka would be very kind of similar in a way, and Sapporo will definitely be colder in especially in the evening. Now, I think that during the day in Tokyo specifically, and obviously the closer that you get to December, the colder it will get. So the whole month is cooling down. But I would say that probably at the beginning of November it might still be sort of t-shirt, maybe layer it up sort of weather, and then as we get closer to December, then you'd have to layer it up a little bit more. But more than anything, I noticed that during those months, like the December month, um, December will be cold towards the end of December, but November month, I would say that it's the evenings and the early mornings. Like, you probably leave the hotel at 8, 9 in the morning, and it will be really cold, and you'd definitely need to carry a little jacket with you, but by 10 a.m. it's probably going to be 19 degrees, 18, 19, 20 degrees, depending on where you are, you know. So you got it's quite hard, it's quite tricky. Sometimes I think, should I just hold on? Should I just put up with the cold for an hour so that I don't have to freaking carry a jacket with me? Dag from the USA, awesome. Hello, Ninja Monkey. You were so helpful in planning my first trip to Japan last year. I'm going again this spring for Cherry Blossom. Awesome. I'm glad that I was able to help. Eric is in the house. How are you doing, Eric? Let's see. Jesse's here. Tokyo 3 days. Should I get the old Tokyo Subway Pass 3 days? If you only want to use the subway, then yes. My suggestion, really, this is what I would do. I mean, I would go first day with just an IC card, see how you go, see what sort of transport you use, see what how much subway you use compared to JR Pass, etc. And then, depending on the first day, then you can get a 48-hour pass for the following two. Question: how cold is the weather early December? I mean, I don't usually go to Japan that time of the year, so I'm gonna be guessing between what it is now and what it would be towards the end of December when I travel. So I usually travel to Japan the end of October, the beginning of November, and then at the end of December, the beginning of January. So those are my periods. In between, I don't really travel to Japan. Your best bet really is to layer it up, especially at night, like I've just mentioned right now. Night times are really cold. Hi Nathan, do you know the current status of Kanazawa post January earthquake? Looking to go November trip coming up. Okay, Kanazawa was actually not really affected by the earthquake, the January earthquake. My friends that actually work for the Kanazawa tourism there, I actually contacted them straight away in January, like a few days after, because there were a lot of people asking, and they told me that they were quite lucky in Kanazawa city. But if you go more into the Noto Peninsula, that's where the damage happened mostly. So 3 days in Tokyo, should I get... Okay, I've already mentioned that. Your relatives in Osaka, I think the mascot is terrible. Some mascots are quite terrible. Kazumi question, just checking there's not a Tokyo Subway loop line similar to the Yamanote above ground loop line. Not really. I mean, there are some really prominent lines that get you, across the city quite well, like the Ginza line, the Hibiya line, etc. How many days till I go to Japan? Well, actually, Jennifer, this time next week I'll be Japan. I will be in Japan, so I will actually arrive Sunday morning in Japan. Sunday morning in Japan time. Are you fully packed yet? Are you ready to go? No. The answer is no. I'm not fully packed at all. But my process of packing, I know I do this multiple times a year now. I don't stress too much about the packing. It's the camera gear that slows me down. I spent yesterday and today pretty much charging everything up, getting cables sorted, making sure that everything is planned. I've got to the point now that most of my planning, most of my pre-planning is YouTube related. So for example, I actually have a whole Halloween video template that I worked on for the last few days anyway, choosing the music, putting the titles in. I've even recorded some of the narration and everything for the Halloween video, so that when I'm in Japan I can put it together quite quickly and upload it and post it on the day. So that's sort of the packing stage that I'm at now. I've done a lot of laundry and I've basically packed everything into one big pile, and I'll decide probably in the next 2 or 3 days. My biggest decision right now is whether I should take a big suitcase or a medium suitcase, and it's mostly depending on how much stuff I need to bring back from Japan, and it all depends on what my friends want me to buy for them, because probably I don't need to buy much for myself. How many days until Japan? Japan Ichiban. Hey, C Ruse, how you doing? I'm going in February and it was less than $1,000 for 30 nights for me. Wow, Tennessee, and also wow, that's quite cheap, huh? Never in Japan. I just want to stay in America. Stay in America then. Live off the Tokyo banana and Gibraltar Coke. Coca-Cola, that is. Yes, Coca-Cola indeed. Hey, why is this top chat on? It's supposed to be on live chat. Oh, damn it. I hate it when that. Have I missed anything? All right, let's see. Hamarikyu Gardens had some very pretty trees, even when I was there. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of seeing anything, you know, go to one of the gardens. By the way, Hamarikyu is one of my favorite gardens because it has a really nice pond with a tea house in the middle. But even Shinjuku Gyoen Garden is a pretty good place for you to get colors or for you to get cherry blossoms, depending on, you know, late blooming blossoms, early blooming blossoms. They're all there pretty much. They were good to you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah, I mean, there are some trees that appear like they might be autumn colored trees, if that makes any sense. Even in the summer, there are some trees that I see that have yellow leaves, and I think, oh, those look kind of autumnal. How do you say it? um, but all in all, it's that sort of like explosion of autumn colors that everybody is seeking. That looks more likely to be happening towards the end of November. That's not to say that you won't get the a few trees here and there, trees that are changing and turning, you know. But it's that explosion that everyone seems to you know, be hunting for. That that will be happening later, especially those ginkgo trees, the yellow trees. Those are my favorite, by the way. And when I went in November, the last year, end of October, beginning of November, I did not see any of them. But finally, when I went in December, at the end of December, the whole of Akihabara and Ueno, they were fully in bloom. You know, like those yellow trees were still there, but probably towards they were sort of towards the end of their lifespan, because by New Year's they were pretty much gone, you know. But just goes to show how late they were out, you know, last year in Tokyo, that is. Oh, this is a really good question, actually. Very good question here. Makua 88. How early should you eat lunch and dinner to avoid long queues? Um, Usually Japanese people have very similar, I would say, to UK people times of eating, and some of these set lunches, they start probably like at 11. Some of them start at 11:30 in the morning, midday, till about 1 p.m. That will be the peak, and then in the evening I would say like 6 and 7 p.m. is probably the peak. So what I would suggest that you try and do in the evening is not leave it too late, but rather go early. Um, that would be my biggest advice in the evening. Thumbs up, please. As Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto has become increasingly popular tourist spots and the problems that come with that, have you found that people, store staff treat you any differently? I think that it's a very easy question to answer incorrectly, because what I mean by that is that the answer will be yes, but only for very specific, very specific area specific locations. So it's not very fair for me to answer that question um, in the broader sense, because I would say that when I travel across Japan, like I did this summer over 6 weeks, 99.999% of every single place that I went to, I had no problems, and I found that people and the store staff were exactly the same as any of my other trips. But yes, I think that maybe when I go to locations like Asakusa, some of the store staff are a little bit, I want to say fed up. I wouldn't say the word is fed up. Actually, I would say that the word is like they become nearly greedy, in the sense that they want business over anything. You know, they don't want to waste time. They want to make money. There's so many people that want to buy that they just want to get through people very quickly, and that's the downside of having so many tourists in popular locations. However, like even in Asakusa, when I went recently, I've now found a really nice matcha tea place, and they were lovely, lovely, lovely people there. But overall, I'd say that in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, it is more popular, and there are some people and some store staff that treat tourists differently. They treat tourists as a product of making more money, but that's the way of the world. But overall in Japan, no. I hope that sort of answers the question. Am I planning any collaborative videos or streams during my upcoming Japan trips? Yeah, Eric V. Well, I've planned a few videos for when I'm in Japan. So I've actually like, I find that when I actually plan a video, they go so much better than when I wing it. um, I'll be hanging out with Oriental Pearl during Halloween, filming a Halloween video. I'm not very sure how much collaboration there'll be, or whether or not we're just going to be supporting each other, filming each other, if that makes any sense. Ultimately, she's a good friend of mine, and we just hang out. So whether we end up making a video or not, I'm not very sure. And in terms of streams, don't forget, Eric, that I do have my second channel, The Happy Gaijin. I'll be streaming on that channel quite frequently. And I also wanted to remind people that there is a meetup going on Monday the 28th, start at 5 p.m, aiming at 5 p.m, to meet outside Shinjuku Station, the 3D Cat exit. If anybody's interested, please come on the Discord, either PM me, go onto the event, put yourself down, and just so that I have an idea, I will finalize. I've been messaging people the last few days, but in the next 2 or 3 days, I'm gonna definitely be finalizing, making sure that I don't leave anybody out. The plan is to just hang out in Shinjuku and go to maybe 2 or 3 different locations together as a group, hang out, have a few drinks, have something to eat, maybe, and we'll probably run from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m, something like that, 3 hours, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But I'm committing for 3 hours of hanging out. Would I recommend Uji City versus Kyoto to avoid crowds? That's a difficult question. I think that altogether Kyoto shouldn't be missed at all. Now, Uji is not as popular as, for example, Nara, but it is popular because it has a very, very nice temple, and people who love green tea will love there, will like to go there. But as a alternative city to Kyoto, I wouldn't recommend it, because Kyoto has 100 times more things to see and do than Uji, you know. So if you are asking me what I think of it as a day trip, then I would say that as a day trip, absolutely, it's a great place. If you're thinking of somewhere to stay, then maybe you want to think of somewhere that's a little bit easier to get to, maybe somewhere like Kobe as a alternative location to stay at, if you really wanted to go that direction, you know. Less than 1 day, I know, crazy, man. I think you're wrong here, Shibuya, Towada. You're 100% wrong here. The Shibuya government cannot stand anyone for Halloween, not just foreign tourists. And I want to remind you that the track tipping incident that happened in 2019, that set everything up, basically started the ball rolling, was not done by tourists. Oh, JJI is all over the place. He's going all over the place. I'm proud of my man, my boy JJI. I'm proud of him. He's going everywhere. Very proud of him. Just upsized my accommodation from cigarette box room to the shoebox room with the ocean view. Seriously, where are you staying? I have only been to the Tigers game in Osaka, and it was freaking amazing. I would do it all over again. One of my viewers here, well, now a friend, Jennifer, the viewer, she said hello earlier on. She got in contact with me and said, "Hey, I've got a spare ticket. Would you like to come and you know come to a game, to a baseball game?" And I don't know anything about baseball because we don't really follow it here in Europe. But wow, what an experience I had. It really was a very epic experience, and I'm so glad that I went. So glad. I actually changed my itinerary to fit that in. I'm so glad I did. I read Japan Meteorological is predicting weather and cooler weather this year with 40% of more snow. Ah, that's just climate change, right? Like, what? I'm living in Kawaguchi Station for a month in January. Anything you recommend in Saitama? Um, you know what? I would suggest that if you're interested in anything Saitama related, that maybe you follow my friend Nomadic Gaijin. He actually lives in Saitama, and he's always like doing all sorts of adventures in Saitama. But I went to Kawa, what is it called? Kawagoe in Saitama? Is Kawagoe in Saitama? Yeah, Kawagoe in Saitama. There's a whole video about it, and it's really nice there as a day trip. I actually want to go back because I feel like I was filming and I could have done a better job, and I really like the place. So um, I've encountered a case that a location in Osaka, if you could have tried charging me more, told them in Japanese I live there and that they should give me a Japanese menu. She feign ignorance, but I don't understand that. Sorry. Um, they try to charge you more. I mean, that happen is it's gonna happen. There are bad actors out there, but I would say that it's a very rare occurrence. It's like we're talking about 0.0001% of restaurants doing that in Japan, and more likely, the closer to like tourist hotspots, the more likely that it might happen. Ah, okay, okay, as in for locals. Yeah, also the pilot lad, I've also realized, and I mentioned this before, I've noticed that sometimes, very rare also, but sometimes there are some menus, foreigner menus and Japanese menus that are different, but they're not different. They just have, they just sort of realize that that foreigners eat more than Japanese. So, for example, the Japanese menu might be selling something at 200 grams for a price, but then the foreigner menu might have 300 grams at a different price, but you're paying the same per gram, if that makes any sense. Um, yeah. Packing monkey. I am absolutely a packing monkey right now. Very much so. Is it better to do Kamakura and Enoshima day trip from Tokyo or Kamakura and Yokohama? Well, Kamakura and Yokohama, you could. I am a big fan of Enoshima, and I am a big fan of Yokohama Chinatown. Um, I think but they're both equally good options depending on what you're after, really. 6 days for my trip to Japan. Planning to go to Hakone from Tokyo. Try to decide if I should do an overnight stay. Do it. Do it. I think if you have the chance of doing an overnight stay in anywhere, especially in Ryokan, then do it. It will be a really, really nice experience. I disagree that Shibuya city government wants to regulate people, and especially foreigners. This will continue. I'm just wondering if you've been there, like yourself, in Halloween in Shibuya, because I have, and I can tell you firsthand that the majority of people are actually not foreigners. The large majority of people are actually Japanese, going to Shibuya. Second of all, from my observations, the biggest nuisances are noise related, coming from Japanese people. That I have loads of video footage, which I will be including in my next video. A lot of people who basically illegally, because it's not, I don't believe it's legal, they modify their cars and they put really loud speakers in their cars, and really loud like throttling noises and stuff like that. And these are all Japanese people. They basically go to Shibuya during Halloween, or not just during Halloween, but specifically during Halloween, to make a lot of noise, and that is the biggest nuisance, one of the biggest nuisance, and one of the things that people mostly have a problem is, but nobody's talking about it, because why would you point at a Japanese person? Best Japanese beer. I don't have the T-shirt on today, but I'm a big Orion fan, a big time Orion fan. Actually, maybe I can even show you the footage. Let's see if I can find it, because where's the footage that I'm looking for? Because I was working on it today. Just give me a second. So this is an example, and there's loads of them. There's loads. You know, so that's just a little example there of what's going on. Hi from New Zealand. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us on this stream, early morning stream for your guessing. Heading to Japan for the first time in a couple of weeks, and your videos have been some of the most helpful and enjoyable to watch. So cheers, thank you. Well, bot does the thing. At least they're enjoyable, because one of the things that I'm always worried about is that they're boring. Because I try to put so much information. I try to give everybody so much information that it's easy for things to become, long-winded and boring. So I'm always worried about that. Let's see. Where are we? I mean, I know both English and German have to say that while Japanese might be difficult, I personally don't find it hard. My advice is always to immerse yourself as much as possible in learning. Absolutely. And talk to people. Let's see. Saitama Bonsai Museum. That actually sounds really, really intriguing. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. Any questions, guys? Don't worry. Thanks for being here. Am I taking my? No, I'm not. I'm not. Need to know if I should pack mine or not. I won't. And if I need to buy one, I'll just buy one when I'm there. Planning a trip to Tokyo from May the 22nd to the 6th. How much rain should I expect to June the 6th? Um, I think it's not necessarily. It could be the beginning of the rainy season, especially towards June, but maybe not quite yet. I think you can just expect the normal type of in and out rain rather than consistent rain. But like I said, when it comes to weather, your best bet is always looking back at what the average temperature or the average weather has been for the last few years to give yourself an idea. I have never, ever, ever, Millie, done a video about buying secondhand cameras in Tokyo. It's something that's really interesting, and I have gone to some stores, like like investigating cameras. Once I went to Japan with my friend Carlos, and he is a huge like camera fan. So he dragged me around all of these stores in Tokyo, and it was fun seeing how basically what incredible condition these cameras are in. But when it comes to me actually making a video about buying secondhand cameras in Tokyo, I'm not very sure if it's something that will come out on my channel anyway. Where I at this point where I am right now, because it's not something that I'm really passionate about or know enough about to make a video about. So, and there's so many other people like Tokyo Lens who has um, put out many videos about shopping and secondhand camera shopping in Japan that I recommend that you check out. Not to say that it won't ever happen, but I never had a real interest in secondhand cameras, so the likelihood is that it won't happen. Um, yeah, I'll probably mention in and I probably have mentioned in previous videos, like where you can buy things here and there. Hey, make origami. How you doing? Hi there, great channel. Your videos are always a good help. I want to ask you if I travel from 23rd of December to the January 3rd is good, and if everything is closed, shops, temples, and so on. All right, that's a really good question. It's one that comes up quite often, and this is what I would recommend that you do. I think that it's very doable to do that, but you need to focus your attention differently, because between I would say the 28th, 29th of January up to around the 2nd and the 3rd, sorry, between the 28th and 29th of December and around the 3rd of January, you will find a lot of the temples become incredibly packed with people doing their New Year's fortunes. So if you're going to Japan and you want to do the temples and the shrines, etc., then you're going to have to do that early on in your trip: the 21st, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, 27th. Those sort of dates are the dates when you're going to have to really, target the temples. Temples don't close. In fact, it's the most busy period, which is the problem really here. So if you are, for example, going to go to Kyoto, then you need to do all those temples and shrines those first few days. And as for everything closing, no, not necessarily, especially in big cities and bigger towns. I think that major things remain open. However, mom and pop shops, smaller restaurants, smaller things might close on the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, maybe up to the third. They start potentially reopening around the third. I hope that gives you an idea of how you can plan your trip to Japan around that time. I think that New Year's in Japan is very special and very interesting. If you do go to Japan during New Year's, I do recommend that you try to hit a temple for the countdown. It's a very different experience to the West, where we do the countdown and we have fireworks, etc. There'll be bells. They release doves. It's a really different experience. I have put a video about it in my second channel, Happy Gaijin, and that you might be interested in. But that's what I would do with the time that you've said there. I hope that is useful. Let's see. Any experience with the Japanese car scene or automotive museums? No, but it's something that it's really interesting how as you get older and how you as you experience more of Japan, and at this point over 10 years traveling many times to Japan, how you start all of a sudden, things start piquing your interest, and that's one of the things that more recently I've is it straight more interestingly, it's one of the things that sort of piqued my interest in the last few months. I've been watching some drifting videos. I've been watching some of the informative videos about pimping up cars and that kind of thing. The whole scene in Japan. One of my friends went to Japan and he was showing me all sorts of photos that he took. I met a French couple and they went to Tokyo and they were showing me photos of cars and drifting and etc. So it's something that's piqued my interest. It's something that I think that it's really cool to explore different elements and the different side of Japan. um, I don't know how I would do so. I'm sort of the kind of person that I would love when I start getting a little bit interested in something like that. What I would probably do is latch on to somebody who is really knowledgeable and really knows about their stuff and just tag along. So if any of you guys are interested in sort of that scene, the whole Japanese car scene, um, and you happen to be in Japan at the same time as me, and you happen to be going to some drifting thing or whatever, let me know if it's okay for me to tag along, because I would love to do that. Hey girl, wander down under. Hi all, little bit late, but had to get ready for a long journey to Sapporo. How is it going, dude? Yeah, join the Discord. There's surprisingly, it's incredible how many Kiwis there are. Yes, very true. Best way to book restaurants in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto as a foreigner. You know what? There isn't really a best way. I think the only way realistically to book a okay, there are. I'm gonna give you some options. Realistically, the best way to book a restaurant is the same as the locals. That would be just going to the restaurant early, queuing up, or putting your name down in a wait list. That's very common in Japan, in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. However, there are some restaurants that specifically have online reservations that you can actually look up. And most importantly, I think that if you're staying in a hotel, which is a good a good reason to stay in a hotel, that you can use a concierge service, or you can ask for recommendations, and most of the time they'll be able to do it for you. I need coffee to function. Me too. I know they say Japan has a coffee culture, but 95% of places are basically selling hot milkshakes. But is the best chain that sells coffee that tastes of coffee. I think when it comes to Japan, you just need to ask for a double shot of coffee, and you'll be fine anywhere really, as long as you say it's a double shot. Starbucks surprisingly does an okay coffee compared to Europe. And Doto, I like Doto coffees actually. Do not try to travel. I travel to Japan most New Year's, and I think Towada has a point, and I think that the point is do not travel, like do not make it an itinerary where you're traveling between cities. I totally agree with that. Or if you do, you need to be very, think ahead, call ahead, message ahead, and make sure that that it's worth your time. I have a story where I went to I was staying in Osaka, and on the 1st of January, no, on the when was it? On the 1st or the 2nd of January, I went somewhere, took the train 2 hours and it was closed. So yes. Kazumi, awesome, no problem. What's happened here? Every now and then the connection sort of goes weird. Where's the best Tokyo museum besides Team Lab? You know, I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm not a big museum person. I've been to a few museums in Ueno. Is it the National Museum? Is pretty good in Ueno. Um, that's probably where I would head to. What are the pros and cons of staying in Shibuya versus Shinjuku or vice versa? I think that when it comes to Shinjuku, Shinjuku is definitely better connected than Shibuya. Um, but it all comes down to preference, really, when it comes to these locations. I like Shibuya more than Shinjuku. I think Shibuya has a more of a nearly chill vibe, more of a youthful, upcoming vibe. Shinjuku is a little bit more grimy, but it also depends on the area in Shinjuku. Shinjuku is so big that can't judge Shinjuku just on the Kabukicho area. Which, by the way, I'm saying all this, but I'm actually staying in that area. Um, this time next week, I'll be staying there. But Shibuya also is usually more expensive to stay in, and Shinjuku is usually cheaper to stay in. So those are some of the pros, basically, of staying in Shinjuku. Would you do the Mario Kart tour in Tokyo? Maybe they'll let you drift. Probably not. It's probably something that I will never do. I'm not very fond of them. I understand that people do them, but I think knowing what I know, I just can't do it just because I know what I know, and I know that people don't really like the locals don't really like it, and yeah, so therefore I probably would never do it. But there's those tourists that are naive and they don't know, and they basically go on the tour, a little bit of fun, and I'm not going to judge them for that because they don't know, they don't know. The National Museum. Would you fly to Japan via Chinese Airways or China? I would if there was the right route from where I live, and if there was a right flight, I would have no problem with them just because I know plenty of people that fly with them, including my friend Vicente. Japan Ichiban is going to be flying via China also with a Chinese airline, I believe. So I would, of course. And I'm not very sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, JJI. Can they fly over Russia? Are they allowed to fly over Russia? Is that does it make it quicker because they can fly over Russia? I forget coffee exists in Japan and just go for Monster energy drinks. Oh, I have one energy drink, usually a sugar-free Red Bull, um, at least at one point during the day, because yeah. Wing Zero, get down to Komeda Coffee and get the Shiro Noir. Really? I'm gonna have to try that. Sufami Dan, question. A month or so ago, I heard they were changing the tax-free system. Do we know when this will be? I'm going in April next year, and would I still be able to claim tax-free on the spot in the shops? At the moment, no. At the moment, there's only chat of what's of them potentially changing it, and I think that implementing it would actually be quite difficult. The way that they want to do it, we'll see. Some hotels where it says "weak coffee" in English, but in katakana it says American. I love that. Ooh, thanks for the recommendation there. Weak coffee. America. Hey Zoom, how you doing? Hi, Nathan Ninja. Been watching some of your videos for a while. I'm making my first trip to Japan on November the 3rd. November for 3.5 weeks, sorry. Any tips for a nervous first timer in Japan and any tips for my solo trip? Yeah, always. I think that my tip is just to embrace everything, even the things that don't go right. When you travel on your own, you put yourself in a position where things can go wrong, but you just need to remember that taking a deep breath, that it's not the end of the world. It's a very safe country, and you'll always be able to find your way back. Always start small and build yourself up. So if you're going to be traveling for the very first time as a solo traveler, then set yourself a target of maybe not leaving Tokyo for the first few days, and then expand and expand and expand and expand. You'll see after the first 48 hours, you'll be a pro. Seriously. Yeah, Chinese Airlines fly over Russia. Perfect for me from the UK. I mean, so how long is a flight then? Damn it! I'm so jealous. Hey, Frog Lady, thank you so much one more time for your support, and hopefully you'll be able to catch some of my streams because they'll likely be at a more a better time on Happy Gaijin when I'm in Japan. Wow, time has flown on this stream, dudes. Really flown. Yeah, the next stream will be in Japan, from Japan, and it will be on the Happy Gaijin probably. I'm guessing, unless I do a stream here, just remind people that I'm on Happy Gaijin. But yeah, or unless I don't get it right and I start streaming accidentally on Ninja Monkey, which I'm known to do. How easy is it to cancel hotel reservations? Thinking of booking something now for a trip in May, but want to keep looking for better, cheaper options. I do that all the time, by the way. I do that all the time. I use booking.com a lot of the time. I make sure that I have free cancellation. I set myself an alarm or a calendar event reminding me that I have to cancel a booking. Although booking.com does a really good job. If you do double book, it will remind you that you have another booking going on. But I think it's a very safe and sound way of planning a trip to Japan and getting the best out of a trip. There's been times where I've got a hotel and then I've seen that there's been an offer in the same hotel and I've just cancelled the booking and rebooked in the same hotel. So I updated my Visit Japan web for my next trip. Only this time I added my son's passport too, but when I click on the family pages, I can only see my passport, not his. I have his QR code though. Maybe Japan Japanichiban can answer that one because he travels with kids. But if you have two QR codes, then you should be fine, I'm guessing. Hey, you'll be in Japan for 2 weeks starting the 27th. I arrive on the 27th too. That's the day that I arrive. Yay! I'll be arriving at 9 a.m. in Narita, so keep an eye out if you arrive at the same time at the same airport. Say hello to me. I will be doing a meetup on the 28th, by the way. Planning to meet at 5 p.m. If you are interested, join the Discord if you're not already part of the Discord, and it would be so cool to have a nice little gathering of people. What accident? Lord McGray, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Japan to the rescue. The father of the group. I don't have kids, so why has it gone back to top chat? Top. Ha. I think It's Tokyo that worries me the most, but as you say, after the first 48 hours, I should be good. Indeed, definitely. I'm hitting up Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, Kanazawa, and Takayama for the trip. Sounds really nice. A nice little trip there. Just watch my Tokyo video, my Tokyo train guide to get yourself started. Air China did direct, it'll be all over it, but I don't hear great things about Chinese airports. Lots of security checks this time. Flying JAL in the new year. I haven't flown with a Chinese airline. I wouldn't be opposed to flying with a Chinese airline. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not opposed to it at all. Indeed, better late than never. Indeed, indeed. Always good to have you here. You're actually. I'm landing in Narita, and I am returning via Haneda. I need to remember that I'm returning via Haneda. Oh, what a nightmare would that be? Yeah, to get to the wrong airport on the way back. Is Takanawa? Where's Takanawa? Takanawa? A good place to stay. We'll be in Japan from November the 17th to December the 11th. Our places to stay in Japan is Tokyo, Roppongi, Kyoto, Osaka, Nara, and Kobe. And it suggests to go to more places. 17. I mean, you've got quite a big of quite a good trip there actually. So what would I suggest? Do you mean Takayama? Takanawa? Where's Takanawa? First of all, where is Takanawa? Oh, Aminato. Okay. Near near Tokyo City. I mean near Tokyo Tower, sorry. Um so it seems that Takanawa doesn't have a very good connection transport wise. Ivan, thank you so much, Ivan. Let me just add you to my list of supporters. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Let's see. Yeah, looking forward to it. I quite like Turkish Airlines. I've used them 4 times. Probably the best food. I thought their food was really good also, but yeah. Have you heard about the new Golden Route, using the Northern Route in train? Any thoughts? There are so many new routes that people keep on calling the Golden Route that you're gonna have to actually specify which one you are considering talking about. And also every time I look at the QR code, mine and his QR code changes each time. The reason I notice is because I took a screen grab of both of them when I get to the airport. Yeah, the QR codes do change, but you should be more or less fine if you do a screen grab just before you go. Takanawa Gateway. Takanawa Gateway was the newest JR line, Yamanote line station, yeah. So if you're staying near Takanawa Gateway, then you should be fine if you're staying near there. All right. Matsumoto's nice. And do day trips from there before heading out to Tokyo. Matsumoto's really nice. Hokuriku Pass, Arch Pass, I've used it. It can be really valuable if you use it correctly, but it all depends on how you use it, really. If you use it enough. Right, guys, I am going to start ending the stream, by the way, so if you do have any ending questions, please let me know. And just a reminder that I do have a second channel, The Happy Gaijin, so head over there to subscribe. If for whatever reason you're watching this on repeat, I'm not live. I am live right now. I'm just saying I might not be live. I've noticed a lot of people watching this thinking that it's a live stream, and if it isn't a live chat with other people chatting, then it won't be live. It'll just be a replay. And then I've seen that people, you know, think that I'm ignoring them, but I'm not. It's just because I'm not live. But I am live right now, if that makes any sense. From Fuji to Osaka, you'd probably need to do a change in, let me see. I mean, it's not difficult, as in people do it. I was gonna say that you probably go to Shizuoka and then change. It should be quite easy, actually. It should be quite easy. Right, guys, I am gonna start heading off. My chat has sort of died, which is a sign that maybe I should head off. Just a quick reminder that don't forget to like, as Go1 says. Just a reminder that I will be streaming from the streets of Japan on my second channel, the Happy Gaijin. Check out the Discord for more information on my meetup that will be happening on the 28th in Shinjuku. So if you're around, then I would love to say hello to you and have a little chat and all that kind of thing. But I still have a few things to do before going to work tomorrow. So for now, it will have to be a goodbye. Thank you so much for everyone who supported. So thank you so much to Frog Lady, Jim Ross, and Ivan for your amazing support, helping the channel out. Means a lot. Arigato gozaimasu. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Oh my god, it's so hot with this. Take care, everyone. Stay positive and be a happy gaijin. Bye.